Hello and welcome back to what I wished I'd known about self-publishing before I got started. I am Karlie with Dragon Key Press, and today I'm going to talk about social media presence. As an author, even a non-traditional or traditionally published indie or whatever you want to call it, it is a good idea to always have some kind of social media presence. Now, Facebook is the one most people think about. You can either have your own Facebook page specifically for you as an author, or if you already have one and you want to keep it as a private one, you can totally just keep it as private and create what they call pages, which Facebook actually now puts as their own kind of separate profile. So you don't actually have to make 50 million Facebook accounts, which back in the day you probably had to do. But here is mine currently. Apparently I don't follow myself, so I guess I better follow myself, but this is one of my pages, and there are tons, as you can see. They basically act like regular pages, give you all the cool stuff, all the fun things, and you can pretty much make however many you want, and you just find out the different ones there. You can see I've got one for the different books, like the Tarragon trilogy and things like that, and it switches you to the profile of it, and going for whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm now going under this guy's, and hey, let's look at my stuff, whatever. But another popular or growing and popular website for social media is MeWe. And I also have a presence on there, but I'm not very good at keeping up with it. But it's kind of similar to Facebook. It has all the different groups and things like that. And you can post things like you would on Facebook. Join all the different groups and has the little chatty thing just like Facebook. It's just not as popular. But there was a big, huge rush from people moving from Facebook over there when some controversy, blah, 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 blah. So whatever. Another one that's kind of been up and coming is Truth Social, which a lot of people will automatically say, oh no, conservative, bigot, blah, 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 whatever, political, blah, blah, bullcrap. As an author, it's totally cool to have your whatever, political, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to have a wide, and I mean truly a wide, good, well-rounded presence online, just set aside those political whatnots and go to the ones, too, that may not be quite as on your cup of tea. Because, you know, a lot of people, they say Truth Social, they think Trump, they think all this crazy blah, blah, conspiracy theory crap. But it's not a bad thing to actually have a presence there, because even places like the Babylon Bee, they're on both Facebook and Truth Social. So those are the three that I personally subscribe to. Twitter is also another great one. There's a lot of moving and shaking now that it has new ownership, but I recently just came back to it myself, and since it's been a hot minute, I have to reset everything up. And if you don't have one, the setup is pretty easy, super easy to do, etc., blah, 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 whatever. But a lot of websites, especially if they're promotion websites, want you to have that Twitter to let people follow you and know what's going on, etc., so forth and all that. There's a lot of authors who are now playing on Instagram. I used to have an Instagram. I no longer have an Instagram. It's just too much. But if you feel like you can do that, or you want to do it instead or in conjunction with, by all means. There are a lot of people who do a lot of fun things, but it's not my cup of tea. The same with TikTok. You got people who have a lot of author stuff, and, you know, you kind of think of it mostly as cutesy, stupid little whatever videos, but yeah, there might be different things that actually can be shown if you look it up. Like, I don't know, different authors and stuff, and of course it's going to make you verify yourself, blah, 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 whatever, to make sure you're human. But I don't personally use TikTok. I find it rather annoying, because my experience with it is it has a lot to do with those teens and younger audiences who are just out there to get attention. So for me, it's just not a thing. And then having to keep a huge active presence. I mean, right here you already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential social media sites that you can use. And out of those, I use 4. So you kind of have to decide how much are you actually able to do online? How much are you willing to spend of your time to actually be out there? There are people who actually do hire out to do your tweets or posts on social media, big name stars, celebrities, etc. have somebody who basically handles that for them all the time. I mean, there's also Reddits and other things like that that people use to get their social media, blah, blah, whatever out there. But I honestly found TikTok trite. I understand it does have a learning algorithm that helps to kind of, hone in and all that stuff, everything for you. But, you get all kinds of crazies on there and Instagram. And I personally find it's just not worth the battle on my end. My little sister sends me stuff all the time on TikTok, and I'm just like, because it just doesn't appeal to me. And if a social media that may be popular, like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, does not appeal to you, do not force yourself to be on it. Because you want to actually have fun when you are promoting yourself, not feel like it's a job that you have to drain the life out of you to do, because it's just one of those things you have to do. So for me, I take TikTok and Instagram immediately off the shelf. If I do actually have posts that I'm going to share, I don't do it often. I try to pop on to all of my various whatevers once a week, at least once a month, to pop something new out there. I'm not as good at it with MeWe, and honestly not as good with it as Truth Social, because let's face it, we've all been on Facebook for so long, it's just like, what, there's other ones out there? But Twitter, of course, is a big one, and I'm just getting back into that one myself. But those are the ones I would suggest, is Facebook, MeWe, Truth Social, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you can handle it, or a combination thereof. Don't, by any means, do all of them. You will burn yourself out. Pick a few, or even just start with one and see how you do if you can keep up the momentum and actual post on these social media platforms. And even if it's only every now and again, just like with your website and blogs and newsletters and all that, it doesn't have to be every day. But it helps if you do it at least once a week. And depending on the platform, sometimes it's okay to just do it once a month. Take into consideration what kind of budget you have, both monetarily and time-wise and mentally, emotionally, before you commit to actually being on any and or all of these social media platforms, because I'm sure there are plenty more out there that I didn't even have here. I even used to play on DeviantArt, if you want to consider that a social media platform, because you can post your art and all kinds of other crazy stuff there too. But whatever you decide to do, whichever sites you decide to be on, make sure that you have the time to commit to this. Most of these are pretty much free to do, but sometimes there will be extra costs, especially if you want to boost your posts or things like that. And some of them, like Facebook, etc., have marketing options where you can actually purchase ads. So again, look at your budget and decide what actually will work for you, what you can afford mentally, emotionally, monetarily, and time-wise. This is all going to be part of your marketing budget, which honestly is a concept I hadn't really thought about until this past year when I went to a writing conference. And we will definitely touch on those later. But I don't know if you learned anything new, surprising, maybe got some new ideas or insights of places you might consider putting your social media presence. I mean, even your Amazon author page is media presence, so take that into mind as well. But hopefully this actually gave you some insights, some knowledge, gave you a little bit of more of an idea of what this kind of entails. But just remember, if you're going to do this, try to be consistent. And if you have a point where you actually have to pull back and say, I can't be as active, let your audience know. You don't necessarily have to tell them the reason why. You can just say personal reasons or blah, blah, whatever. But, you know, don't just suddenly drop off the face of the planet because people will just lose interest in you. Anyway, I hope you learned something new and exciting and hopefully useful. I'm Karlie with Dragon Key Press, and I hope to see you next time.